My mission is simple, to make you money. I'm here to level the playing field for all investors. There's always a bull market somewhere, and I promise to help you find it. Mad Money starts now. Hey, I'm Cramer. Welcome to Mad Money. Welcome to America. Other people want to make friends. I just want to make you some money. My job is not just to entertain, but to educate and teach. So call me at 1-800-743-CNBC or tweet me at Jim Cramer. There are two kinds of COVID winners. There's the predictable ones that you can see coming. And then there are the counterintuitive ones that took us all by surprise. After a not-so-hot day where the Dow dipped 205 points, S&P declined 0.65%, NASDAQ lost 1.27%, I think it's important to go over the companies that have shocked us here with their outperformance, because I think they can continue to shock. The obvious winners were obvious. We know people are hanging out at Facebook while they peruse Apple's App Store, order things from Amazon, search on Google. These companies, by the way, are all going to go to Capitol Hill tomorrow, where they'll face a hostile audience because they're simply doing too well. I didn't take a chance to figure out that the shutdown will force people to use the internet. If I weren't Jimmy Chill in real life, I'd be jealous of the Titans, even though their CEOs are about to be drawn and quartered by the House Judiciary Subcommittee on Antitrust. I'm torn on this because while these big tech companies, their platforms arguably have way too much market power. No kidding, right? They got there by being really good at what they do. And that's capitalism. And they've all done a much better job of responding to the pandemic than the government. But forget the obvious COVID winners. That's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the big surprises, the things that people are doing when you can't go to the movies or a ball game or ship your kids off to summer camp or to fly to Europe or take a cruise. These are shockers because it's never happened before. A recession that never had these stocks go higher. So I've got the top 10 for you. 10 stocks that are en fuego because they were able to come out of nowhere and capitalize on the worst pandemic in 100 years. And I'm not talking about Lululemon or Tesla, which were both hotter than hot even before the outbreak. I'm talking about real stunners. Stunner number one is Polaris, PII. Here's a company that makes all sorts of off-road vehicles, snowmobiles, and just this morning it reported a monster quarter. Yeah, it was one of the hottest summers on record, so it wasn't a big snowmobile, but wow, ATVs? I mean, yeah, by the way, this is not even the craziest part of the pandemic paradox. Normally, when we go into recession, Polaris gets crushed because ATVs and snowmobiles are the ultimate discretionary spending. Scott Wine, the CEO, thought this was going to happen again. This time, though, Polaris delivered much better than expected numbers. And even Scott admitted to me that he hadn't seen it coming. Turns out that riding an ATV is the ultimate pandemic pastime. Think about it. You're outdoors, you wear gloves. Hey, and you got helmets. And helmets, well, they're much better than even my incredibly cool Honeywell mask. And by the way, of course, you're in the middle of nowhere. I mean, this is pandemic heaven. It sure beats sitting in the Miami Marlins dugout. If you believe, as I do, that we're still many months away from a vaccine, you stick with PII. Number two. We just got a great quarter from Sherwin-Williams. Apparently, people like to paint their homes when they've got nothing else to do. I'd rather hammer nails into my hands, but I'm not exactly Mr. Home Improvement. Again, in a normal recession, you don't bother fixing up your house. Why? Because it's an expense in a normal recession. Houses lose value. Not this one, though. Home values keep rising as people flee the cities for suburbs and the exurbs. D.R. Horton, the big home builder, put an amazing set of numbers last night. When you can sell your home, buying Sherwin-Williams paint is a great investment. Same goes for Sherwin-Williams, the stock. Third is Mattel. Now, we had CEO Ynon Kreiz on last night, and he talked about skyrocketing Barbie sales, big numbers. But what I found most interesting wasn't Barbie, although the numbers were incredible. It's that Uno is now the #1 biggest board game in the country. Uno! And there's like 70 different kinds of Uno. Hey, we've got this on Shipped, by the way, which is really cool. We got a whole bunch of things on Shipped. It came in like within an hour. And, look, Uno, I mean, I know people, this is like people have been playing Uno all their lives. And here it is. It just suddenly got back, and I know why. Because you only need 2 people to play Uno. So what does that make? It makes the ideal quarantine pastime. This is it. This is what you do when you're being quarantined. Number 4 is Wayfair. Yes, Wayfair. Now, I've had my doubts about this online furniture retailer for ages, and the company was on the ropes going into the pandemic, but it's now making a fortune. People need to set up their home offices. Nobody wants to go to a furniture store when they can order off the web, so Wayfair stock is on fire. It's gone from 21 in March, when it was in trouble, to the 220s, regularly making new highs during a recession. Exactly when you'd expect to be making new lows. Hey, speaking of the new low list, in every recession I can recall, you had to dump the RV stocks. Who the heck buys a motorhome when the economy tanks? So Thor Industries gets the hammer. 2 in one show. Now, though, there are so many rich people who want socially distanced vacations, and that means buying or renting expensive RVs, which is why Thor stock is flying. 6, the RV story is part of the great outdoors thesis, which brings us to Camping World, which we've liked. Many thought Marcus Lemonis' camping retailer was on death's doors. Traders thought it would blow up during a recession. Turns out it did blow up from $3 to $36 because people love camping in the age of COVID. 7th is Tractor Supply. Now, this was never a bad retailer. You can buy some nice Carhartt clothes. I like them. My wife hates them. And you can get some excellent stuff for your garden. But in a pandemic, gardening's like going to Disney World or even Paris, and not Paris Island. I see a lot of novice gardeners following Jimmy Chill on Twitter. They're getting the hang of it. Many of them are shopping at the Gentleman Farmer's Home Away from Home, which is Tractor Supply. Lots of good pictures of my tomatoes coming up this weekend. 8th, gardening newbies don't want to come up with anemic zucchinis or tomato plants that taste worse than you'd find at a convenience store. So they pour on the Scotch Miracle Grow when no one's looking for a can't-miss garden. I know it's not exactly natural and organic. What is those blue crystals anyway? What's in them? But I just tell people, spray at night and just tell them you got a real green thumb. And buy the stock. 9th is Brunswick, the boating kingpin. I know a guy who bought a Boston Whaler for 40 G's, and then immediately someone offered him 30 G's just to rent it for the summer. Why? The renter had 3 boys who were driving him crazy because there's nothing to do. Boating is a terrific time suck, and it's added advantage of being a lot of fun. We take out my 17-foot Boston Whaler, we do nothing. Sometimes we bring fishing tackle. Sometimes we just bring sunscreen. We never bring beer. Again, in a normal recession, you'd be shorting Brunswick until the cows come home. But this is no normal recession, and this stock's unstoppable. If you short it, you kind of got the No Country for Old Men bolt in the forehead treatment. Woo. I think Brunswick's a beast going into earnings on Thursday, beast being positive. Paradox number 10. Boston Beer, best known as the brewer behind Sam Adams. Right now, though, they're making a fortune from truly spiked seltzer. Forget about the lemonade. You can't find it. These things are just, they're flying off the shelves. We couldn't find any anywhere. It's like White Claw last summer. In a recession, liquor sales tend to do better, but you might have thought Boston Beer would suffer this time because all the bars are just closed. Nope. Turns out people who are stuck at home like to drink, and they especially like Truly. The bottom line, coming into the pandemic-induced recession, you might have expected these 10 stocks, all 10 of these, to be horrendous. But so far, they've been some of the biggest winners. I think this pandemic paradox can keep winning as long as we get another meaningful stimulus package, which it sure looks we're going to, in the not-too-distant future.
Don't miss a second of Mad Money. Follow @Jim Cramer on Twitter. Have a question? Tweet Cramer. #MadTweets. Send Jim an email to madmoney@cnbc.com or give us a call at 1-800-743-CNBC. Miss something? Head to madmoney.cnbc.com.